welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on Anker Innovations.
Anker Innovations.
Yeah, they make those chargers and earbuds. You know, the ones you probably have in your bag right now.
Right.
But how did this brand become such a global powerhouse?
Yeah.
I mean, starting with something as basic as a phone charger. That's what we're going to unpack today.
Well, what's so fascinating about Anker is that, like a lot of great innovations, it all started with a problem.
Okay.
Back in the early days of smartphones, remember, batteries weren't exactly known for their longevity.
Oh, yeah. I remember those days. Your phone would be dead by, like, lunchtime.
Exactly. And Anker's founder, Stephen Yang, saw this as an opportunity.
Okay, so tell me more about this Stephen Yang. Where does he fit into all of this?
Well, back then, Yang was a software engineer at Google.
Nice.
Pretty sweet gig, right?
Yeah.
But he had this entrepreneurial itch. He saw the issue with smartphone batteries and thought, I can solve this.
So he just up and quit Google to start making chargers?
He did.
Wow, that's a bold move.
It was, but Yang had a vision. He realized that as smartphones became more and more integral to our lives, portable chargers would be essential. It wasn't just a product. It was a solution to a growing pain point for millions of people.
Yeah, it's amazing how an idea that seems so simple now was actually quite revolutionary at the time.
It really was.
Yeah.
And Yang's journey was similar to Xiaomi's founder, Lei Jun,
Okay.
in that they both recognized the potential of the charger market, but Yang took a different path.
Oh, okay. So what was the key difference that set Yang apart? Was it the technology itself?
Not exactly. While Anker was definitely committed to quality, the real difference was their strategic focus.
Okay.
Instead of battling it out in the crowded Chinese market, Yang set his sights on overseas markets, specifically the U.S.
Interesting.
This strategic move is known as the shallow sea theory.
Shallow sea theory. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about that.
All right, so imagine the ocean. The deepest parts, the Mariana Trenches, represent markets like smartphones, where, huge companies already dominate. The shallow seas are less competitive niches with high potential. That's where Yang decided to swim.
Okay, so he was basically looking for uncharted territory where Anker could thrive without going head-to-head with the giants.
Precisely. He recognized that going up against companies like Xiaomi in China would be, well, a monumental challenge.
Oh, sure.
The U.S. market, on the other hand, offered a vast and relatively untapped opportunity for a company like Anker.
That's a brilliant strategy. So how did he actually get started in the U.S. market? Did he just pack his bags and fly over?
Well, not quite that simple, but Yang did leverage a key asset, the booming world of e-commerce.
Okay.
He recognized the power of platforms like Amazon, which were just starting to gain momentum.
So he saw Amazon as his gateway to the American consumer.
Absolutely. By focusing on online sales, he could bypass the traditional retail barriers and reach a massive audience directly. It was a game changer for a young company like Anker.
And did this strategy pay off? Did American consumers embrace this new brand from China?
They did. By 2012, just a few years after its founding, Anker was already profitable and had become a top-selling charger brand on Amazon.
Wow.
Think about that. A Chinese company, practically unknown, dominating a major product category on the world's biggest e-commerce platform.
That's incredible. It's a real testament to the power of, well, strategic thinking, good timing, and recognizing the potential of emerging trends.
It really is. And Yang's shallow sea strategy didn't end with chargers. It guided Anker's expansion into other product categories as well.
So they didn't just stick with chargers. What other shallow seas did they explore?
Well, instead of diving into the Mariana Trench of smartphones, they navigated to the shallow seas of wireless audio, smart home devices, and even 3D printers.
Wow, they really diversified their portfolio.
Yeah.
But did this diversification help them, or was it spreading themselves too thin?
This diversification was actually crucial for Anker's success. By not putting all their eggs in one basket, they could weather market changes and maintain steady growth. They were becoming more than just a charger company. They were becoming a trusted brand in multiple tech categories.
So Yang was thinking long-term, building a brand with a diverse range of products that consumers could rely on.
Exactly. It was a strategic move that helped them secure their position in the ever-evolving world of consumer electronics.
And what about innovation? How did Anker manage to keep up with the rapidly changing tech landscape? Did they have some secret R&D lab cooking up new gadgets?
Well, they definitely have talented engineers and designers, but their secret weapon is something a bit more unique. They're obsessed with listening to their customers.
Right.
They've developed a system to collect and analyze customer feedback on a massive scale.
So they're not just guessing what people want. They're actually paying attention to what their customers are saying.
Exactly. And they take this feedback very seriously. It's not just about collecting data. It's about deeply understanding what their customers love, hate, and want to see improved.
That's so smart. But how do they actually gather all this feedback? Are they sending out surveys?
Yeah.
Reading every single Amazon review?
They do a bit of everything.
Yeah.
They have teams that monitor online reviews, forums, social media, you name it.
Wow.
They even analyze feedback on their competitors' products. They're like data detectives, piecing together clues from all corners of the internet.
Wow, that's commitment to customer understanding.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're tapping into a valuable resource that many companies overlook.
Absolutely. And this customer-centric approach is a key part of what sets Anker apart.
Yeah.
They're not just making products, they're building a relationship with their customers based on trust and responsiveness.
It sounds like they're not just listening, they're actually using this feedback to shape their products and strategies.
Exactly. They've developed a system called Voice of Customer, or VOC,
VOC.
which is deeply ingrained in their culture and decision-making process. This allows them to be incredibly agile and responsive to customer needs and preferences.
It's like they have a direct line to what their customers are thinking and feeling. That's an incredible advantage in such a competitive market.
It is. And this VOC-driven approach is a key part of how Anker manages to constantly innovate and stay ahead of the curve.
Okay, so they have a solid strategy, a focus on diversification, and an obsession with customer feedback.
Yeah.
But what about marketing? How did they manage to break through the noise and make their brand stand out?
Well, you might be surprised to hear that Anker's marketing approach isn't about flashy campaigns or celebrity endorsements.
Okay.
They've become masters of online marketplaces like Amazon and Shopee, leveraging their unique algorithms and features to reach a global audience.
So they're playing the e-commerce game strategically.
They've cracked the code. They understand how to optimize product listings, run targeted ad campaigns, and even leverage influencer marketing to reach the right customers at the right time.
It's like they've turned the online marketplace into their own global billboard.
Exactly. And one of the most fascinating aspects of Anker's story is a moment where they got a bit of unexpected help from a very high-profile source.
Oh.
You might remember this. Former U.S. President Trump unknowingly showcased an Anker charger in a live stream with Elon Musk.
Wait, really? Tell me more about this.
It was during a meeting about infrastructure.
Okay.
Trump was showing off some technology and picked up a device connected to an Anker charger.
Huh.
He didn't even mention the brand, but eagle-eyed viewers noticed it.
But so what happened next? Did people rush out to buy the Trump charger?
Well, not exactly. But it did create a lot of buzz online. People were talking about it, sharing screenshots, and speculating about the brand. And Anker's stock price actually surged following the incident.
Wow, that's a case study in unexpected marketing. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
It really highlights the unpredictable nature of brand visibility and the power of, well, serendipitous moments. Of course, Anker's success isn't solely based on this one incident. But it does show the ripple effect that even seemingly small events can have in the digital age.
It's a reminder that sometimes even the best laid plans can be surpassed by the sheer power of unplanned publicity.
Absolutely. But Anker didn't just ride the wave of this lucky break. They've consistently implemented smart marketing strategies, and a big part of that is their global approach.
So they're not just replicating the same strategies across different markets, they're taking a more nuanced approach.
Exactly. They have dedicated teams in each region, understanding local consumer behavior and adapting their products and marketing accordingly. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
That makes a lot of sense. Consumers in different countries have different preferences and cultural nuances.
And Anker recognizes that. They're constantly researching, adapting, and refining their strategies to ensure they're resonating with consumers on a local level.
So they're not just a Chinese company selling products overseas. They're a global company with a deep understanding of their diverse customer base.
That's a great way to put it. They've invested in building a truly global brand, one that connects with consumers on a personal and cultural level.
So from a single product to a global brand, Anker's journey is quite remarkable. But it wasn't always smooth sailing, was it?
Of course not.
Did they face any challenges along the way?
Oh, of course, there were challenges.
Yeah.
The consumer electronics market is incredibly competitive, even in those shallow seas.
Right.
They face competition from established brands, dealt with the ever-changing demands of consumers, and had to navigate the complexities of global supply chains and logistics.
So it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. It sounds like they had to constantly adapt and overcome obstacles to achieve their goals.
Exactly. Their story is a reminder that success in business is rarely a straight line. It's about perseverance, adaptability, and a willingness to constantly learn and evolve.
It sounds like they've embraced the challenges and used them as fuel for growth and innovation. But I'm curious to know more about how they tackled those challenges. Did they have any specific strategies or approaches that helped them navigate those choppy waters?
Well, one of the key things that set Anker apart is their ability to combine data-driven decision-making with a deep understanding of consumer behavior. They don't just rely on gut instinct or follow trends blindly.
Right.
They carefully analyze data, test hypotheses, and constantly iterate based on what they learn.
So they're using data to inform their decisions, but also balancing that with a human understanding of what motivates consumers.
Precisely. They've managed to find that sweet spot between data and intuition, which is crucial in an industry where things change so rapidly.
It sounds like they've built a company culture that embraces both the analytical and the creative. But I want to know more about the specifics. How did they actually use data to overcome those challenges? Did they have any specific tools or systems in place?
Well, one of the most intriguing aspects of Anker's approach is their use of A/B testing.
A/B testing. That's a term I usually associate with software development, not consumer electronics.
You're right, it's not a common practice in the hardware world. But Anker realized that they could apply the same principles to their physical products. They would create two slightly different versions of a product, say a charger with a different design or feature, and then test them with real customers to see which one performs better.
So they're essentially running experiments to optimize their products based on real-world feedback.
Exactly. And they don't just do this with product design. They use A/B testing for everything from packaging to marketing materials to website layouts.
Wow.
They're constantly experimenting and tweaking to find the most effective approach.
That's fascinating. It's almost like they've taken the scientific method and applied it to the art of business.
It's a very data-driven approach. And what's even more impressive is that they've managed to integrate this A/B testing methodology into their company culture.
So it's not just a top-down initiative. It's something that's embraced by everyone at Anker.
Absolutely. From engineers to marketers to customer service reps, everyone is encouraged to experiment, gather data, and use that data to make informed decisions.
It sounds like a very empowering environment where everyone has a voice and is encouraged to contribute to the company's success.
It is. And it's this data-driven experimental culture that has allowed Anker to navigate those challenges and emerge as a global leader in the consumer electronics industry.
It's amazing how a company that started with such a simple product has become so sophisticated in its approach to business. But I'm curious to know more about their global expansion. How do they manage to successfully enter so many different markets with such diverse consumer preferences and cultural nuances?
Well, one of the key things to understand about Anker's global expansion is that they didn't just try to replicate their success in the U.S. market across the world.
Okay.
They recognize that different regions have different consumer preferences, cultural nuances, and market dynamics.
So they took a more localized approach.
Absolutely. They invested in building teams with local expertise, conducted extensive market research, and adapted their products and marketing strategies to fit the specific needs of each region.
So it wasn't just about translating their website to different languages. It was about truly understanding the cultural context of each market.
Exactly. They recognize that what works in one country might not work in another. For example, in some Asian markets, brand loyalty is very strong, so Anker had to focus on building trust and credibility.
And how did they do that? Did they use any specific strategies or tactics to build that trust?
Well, one of the things they did was partner with local influencers and celebrities who were already trusted by the target audience.
Makes sense.
They also focused on highlighting the quality and reliability of their products, which is a key concern for consumers in these markets.
So they tailored their message to address the specific concerns of each region.
Precisely. They understood that a one-size-fits-all approach wouldn't work in a globalized world. They had to be flexible, adaptable, and willing to learn from each market they entered.
It sounds like a very nuanced and strategic approach to global expansion. But I'm curious to know more about how they actually manage these different teams and operations across the world. Did they have a centralized headquarters calling all the shots, or was it more decentralized?
That's a great question. And it's something that many global companies struggle with. Anker has taken a hybrid approach.
Okay.
They have a global headquarters that sets the overall vision and strategy, but they also give their regional teams a significant amount of autonomy.
So it's a balance between centralized control and decentralized decision-making.
Exactly. They recognize that the people on the ground in each region have the best understanding of the local market dynamics and consumer preferences.
It's a bit like a jazz band, where everyone has their own solo, but they're all playing in harmony to create a beautiful piece of music.
That's a great analogy.
Damn.
And it's this combination of global vision and local expertise that has allowed Anker to expand so successfully into different markets.
Okay, so we've talked about their strategy, their innovation, their marketing, and their global expansion. But what about their culture? What's it like to work at Anker?
Well, from what I've gathered, Anker has a very unique company culture that emphasizes innovation, collaboration, and customer focus.
So it's not your typical corporate environment.
Not at all. They have a very flat organizational structure, which encourages open communication and collaboration across different teams and levels.
That sounds refreshing.
hmm
But how do they maintain efficiency and accountability without a traditional hierarchy?
Well, they have clear goals and metrics that everyone is aligned around, and they empower their employees to make decisions and take ownership of their work.
So it's a culture of trust and accountability rather than command and control.
Exactly. And this culture is deeply rooted in their values. They believe that by empowering their employees and fostering a collaborative environment, they can unlock their full potential and achieve great things.
It sounds like a very inspiring and motivating place to work. But what about the day-to-day reality? Do they have any unique perks or benefits that stand out?
Well, they're known for having a very generous vacation policy, which encourages employees to take time off to recharge and pursue their passions. They also have a strong emphasis on professional development and offer a variety of training programs and opportunities for growth.
So they're investing in their employees' well-being and long-term growth.
Absolutely. They recognize that their employees are their most valuable asset, and they're committed to creating a workplace where people feel valued, supported, and inspired to do their best work.
It's clear that Anker has built a company culture that's both innovative and people-centric. And it's this culture, combined with their strategic vision and operational excellence, that has propelled them to their current position as a global leader in consumer electronics.
I agree. Their story is a testament to the power of culture, values, and a commitment to creating a positive impact.
It's an inspiring example of how a company can achieve both financial success and a positive social impact. But I want to know more about the specifics of their social impact initiatives. What are some of the ways that Anker is giving back to the community and making a difference in the world?
Well, one of the areas where Anker has made a significant impact is in education. They have a program called Anker Power Up, which provides solar-powered charging stations to schools in developing countries.
So they're using their technology to address a real need in underserved communities.
Exactly. And they're not just providing the technology, they're also working with local partners to ensure that the schools have the training and support they need to use it effectively.
That's impressive. It's not just about donating products. It's about creating a sustainable solution that empowers communities.
And they're also committed to environmental sustainability.
Okay.
They've implemented a number of initiatives to reduce their carbon footprint and promote responsible manufacturing practices.
So they're not just talking about sustainability. They're actually taking concrete steps to make it a reality.
Absolutely. They've set ambitious goals to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, use recycled materials in their products, and promote energy efficiency throughout their operations.
It's inspiring to see a company that's not just focused on profits, but is also taking responsibility for their impact on the world.
I agree. It's a reminder that businesses can be a force for good in the world.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about Anker's strategy, their innovation, their marketing, their global expansion, their culture, and their social impact. What are some of the key takeaways that you think our listeners should remember from this deep dive into Anker's journey?
Well, I think one of the most important lessons is that success in business is not just about having a great product or a clever marketing campaign.
Right.
It's about building a company with strong values, a clear vision, and a commitment to creating a positive impact.
It's about thinking long-term, being adaptable, and constantly striving to improve.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that business can be a force for good in the world.
Well said. And I think Anker's story is a testament to that. They've shown that it's possible to build a successful company that not only creates innovative products, but also makes a positive difference in the world.
I agree. It's an inspiring story that challenges us to think differently about the role of business in society.
On that note, I think we should take a break and come back for part 2 of our Anker deep dive. We'll explore more about their specific products, their challenges, and what the future holds for this remarkable company. Stay tuned.
I'm looking forward to it. Welcome back. Ready to dive back into the world of Anker?
Absolutely. Last time, we left off talking about Anker's global expansion. They really seem to have a knack for understanding local markets.
Yeah, it's more than just a knack, you know? It's a core part of their strategy. They've been very intentional about not being seen as just a Chinese brand.
Right. Can you give me an example of how they've adapted their approach for different regions?
Take India, for example. Anker recognized the importance of the offline market there. You know, people want to see and touch products before buying.
Yeah.
So they partnered with local retailers to establish a strong physical presence.
So they weren't afraid to go beyond their online-first strategy when it made sense for a specific market.
Exactly. They're pragmatic and adapt based on data and insights. Another interesting example is Southeast Asia, where social media is huge.
So they probably went all in on influencer marketing and flashy campaigns there.
You'd think so, right? But they actually found that consumers in that region value authenticity and word-of-mouth recommendations. So they focused on building communities and engaging with micro-influencers who have a genuine connection with their followers.
Interesting. So it's about being where your customers are, but also understanding how they behave in those spaces.
Precisely. And this localized approach isn't just about marketing. It also extends to product development.
Okay, so they're not just tweaking their marketing message, they're actually adapting their products themselves.
That's right. For example, they noticed that in some markets, consumers preferred brighter, more vibrant colors for their tech accessories.
Okay.
So they introduced product lines with bolder color palettes, specifically for those regions.
It's all about those subtle but significant details that show they truly understand their customers. It's no wonder they've been so successful.
Yeah. And this success is reflected in their financials. Since achieving profitability in 2012, they've seen impressive revenue growth, consistently expanding into new product categories and maintaining healthy profit margins.
That's impressive. But didn't they face some bumps along the way? The consumer electronics market is notoriously competitive.
Of course. No company has a completely smooth journey. They've had to navigate challenges like increased competition from established players and the ever-changing demands of consumers.
So how did they handle those pressures? Did they just double down on what was working?
Well, they're smart about using data to inform their decisions. For example, when they noticed a dip in sales for a particular product line, they didn't just panic. They used their VOC system to understand why.
So they went back to the source, the customers. What did they find?
It turned out that a competitor had released a similar product at a lower price point. Anker realized they couldn't just compete on price. They had to offer something more.
So how did they respond? Did they lower their prices too?
No. Instead of a race to the bottom, they focused on differentiation.
Okay.
They upgraded the materials, improved the design, and added new features that justified the price difference. They also leveraged their brand reputation for quality and customer service.
It's that classic value over price strategy.
Yeah,
Give the customer a reason to choose you, even if it costs a bit more.
exactly. And it worked. They were able to regain market share and even increase customer loyalty because they demonstrated that they were listening and responding to feedback.
This whole story is a testament to their adaptability and commitment to continuous improvement. But let's switch gears a bit and talk about their products. What are some of the standout examples that illustrate their approach?
One product that exemplifies their philosophy is the PowerCore line of portable chargers.
The product that started it all.
Right. But they haven't rested on their laurels. They've constantly innovated, incorporating new technologies like faster charging speeds and higher capacities to keep pace with the evolving needs of consumers.
So it's not just about making the same charger year after year. It's about staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Another example is their SoundCore line of audio products, specifically the Liberty Air 2 Pro earbuds.
I've heard good things about those. What makes them special?
Well, Anker realized that noise cancellation was becoming a must-have feature in earbuds, but not everyone could afford the premium price tag of the big brands.
So they saw another shallow sea. High-quality, noise-canceling earbuds at a more accessible price point.
Exactly. The Liberty Air 2 Pro earbuds offer impressive noise cancellation and sound quality at a fraction of the cost of some of their competitors.
It's another example of how they identify a market need and deliver a high-quality product that fills that gap.
Right. And they've also been successful in the smart home space with their Eufy security cameras.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those advertised. What's their unique selling point?
Well, they focused on privacy and data security, which are becoming increasingly important concerns for consumers.
Right.
Eufy cams store data locally, so it's not being sent to the cloud,
Mm.
giving users more control over their personal information.
That's a smart move. They're tapping into a growing consumer concern and offering a solution that aligns with those values.
It's all about understanding the evolving needs and concerns of their target market.
So they're not just making gadgets, they're creating products that solve problems, enhance lives, and address genuine consumer concerns.
Exactly. And that's a big part of why they've been able to build such a loyal customer base. People trust the Anker brand to deliver quality, innovation, and value.
But it's not just about individual products, is it? They seem to be building an entire ecosystem of interconnected devices.
You're right. They've started to connect their products through their Eufy Home app, allowing users to control their security cameras, smart lights, and other devices from a single platform.
So they're thinking about the bigger picture, creating a seamless experience for their customers across multiple product categories.
It's a smart strategy, especially as the smart home market continues to grow. By creating a cohesive ecosystem, they're making it easier for consumers to adopt their products and integrate them into their lives.
It's almost like they're building their own version of a mini Apple or Google, but with a focus on affordability and accessibility.
That's an interesting comparison. While they may not have the same scale or brand recognition as those tech giants, they've certainly demonstrated an ability to innovate, adapt, and build a loyal following.
And it's all been built on the foundation of that humble portable charger. It's amazing to see how far they've come. But what about the future? Where do you see Anker heading in the next few years?
Well, I think they'll continue to expand their product ecosystem, focusing on creating seamless connectivity between their devices. They'll also likely explore new emerging technologies, perhaps even venturing into areas like augmented reality or virtual reality.
So they're not content with just staying in their lane. They're looking to the horizon for the next big opportunity.
They seem to have a keen eye for spotting emerging trends and finding those shallow seas where they can make a splash. And I think we'll also see them becoming even more globally integrated, tailoring their products and services to even more specific niches and cultures.
Sounds like they're on a trajectory to become a truly global tech powerhouse. But with that growth, do you think they risk losing sight of what made them successful in the first place? That focus on customer needs and smart product development?
That's the million-dollar question. Maintaining that customer centricity and agility as they scale will be their biggest challenge.
I guess we'll have to wait and see how they navigate those waters. But one thing's for sure, Anker's journey is far from over.
Agreed. It's been a fascinating deep dive so far, and I'm curious to see what insights you've gleaned from their story.
Well, I've been really impressed by their strategic thinking, their customer obsession, and their ability to adapt and innovate. It's a reminder that even in a world dominated by tech giants, there's always room for disruption and new players who are willing to challenge the status quo.
That's a great observation. They've proven that success isn't just about being the biggest or the loudest. It's about being smart, adaptable, and relentlessly focused on delivering value to your customers.
And it's about understanding that business can be a force for good in the world, not just about profits. Anker's commitment to sustainability and social impact is definitely something to admire.
I wholeheartedly agree. They've set a great example for other companies to follow.
Well, this has been a truly insightful conversation. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been a pleasure. I always enjoy exploring the stories behind successful companies, and Anker's journey has been particularly fascinating.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on this deep dive into Anker Innovations. We hope you've enjoyed learning about this remarkable company. Stay tuned for the final part of our Anker deep dive, where we'll wrap up our discussion and leave you with some key takeaways to ponder. Welcome back to the final part of our Anker deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from their humble beginnings with phone chargers to their global expansion and innovative product development.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. They've really managed to carve out a unique space for themselves in the tech world.
They've certainly challenged some of the assumptions about how to build a successful global brand, haven't they?
Absolutely. They've proven that you don't need a massive marketing budget or a huge portfolio of products to make a significant impact.
Their focus has been on doing a few things exceptionally well, right?
Exactly. They've prioritized quality, innovation, and customer satisfaction, and they've been absolutely relentless in their pursuit of those goals.
And they've done it without being afraid to take risks and try new things, whether it's adapting their products for different markets or experimenting with new technologies like A/B testing and hardware development.
Right. That willingness to experiment and adapt has been crucial to their success. They're not afraid to challenge the status quo and try things that other companies might shy away from.
It's almost like they've taken a page from the Silicon Valley playbook, but with a distinctly global twist.
That's a great way to put it. They've combined the agility and innovation of a startup with the ambition and strategic thinking of a global powerhouse.
Okay, so we've explored Anker's past, their present, and their potential for the future. But what does this all mean? Why should our listeners care about Anker's story?
Well, I think there are several important lessons that we can all learn from Anker's journey. First and foremost, it's a reminder that even in a world dominated by established giants, there's always room for new players to emerge and disrupt the status quo.
They've shown that it's possible to challenge the conventions of an industry and achieve remarkable success by focusing on a few key principles.
Exactly. They've proven that quality, innovation, and customer satisfaction are still the cornerstones of a successful business, regardless of your size or industry.
And they've demonstrated the power of embracing new technologies, adapting to changing market conditions, and constantly seeking ways to improve. They haven't rested on their laurels. They've continuously evolved and pushed themselves to be better.
Their story is a testament to the power of entrepreneurial vision, strategic thinking, and operational excellence. It's about having a clear understanding of your target market, identifying their needs, and delivering products and services that exceed their expectations.
And it's about building a company culture that fosters innovation, collaboration, and a genuine commitment to customer satisfaction. Anker has shown that when you put your customers first and empower your employees to do their best work, amazing things can happen.
I couldn't agree more. It's a reminder that business can be a force for good in the world, creating value for customers, opportunities for employees, and positive change in the communities they serve.
Well said. And on that note, I'd like to thank you, our expert guest, for joining us today and sharing your insights into the fascinating world of Anker Innovations.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the story of Anker and that you've gleaned some valuable insights that you can apply to your own lives and businesses. Remember, the key takeaway here is that success is not a destination. It's a journey. It's about continuous learning, adaptation, and a relentless focus on delivering value. Anker's story is proof that even a simple idea, executed with passion and dedication, can have a global impact. So keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep striving to make a difference in the world. Until next time, keep diving deep.